Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're over here on the global side of the game, taking on the new Arena, Xdrake, and Bonekichi, utilizing some very free-to-play friendly teams for you guys. Now, in today's video, I do have 3 runs. It's technically 4 teams, but we'll talk about that in a second. But all the teams actually utilize free-to-play supports, free-to-play subs, bar one little asterisk that is Rare Recruit Kid, who's basically been out since the start of time. So most people, if you've been playing the game for a little while, you probably have this unit. And if you don't, well, then I'm about to blow your mind, and you're going to realize how good this support actually is. So in today's video, I have 2 teams against Xdrake, 2 teams against Bonekichi, and as mentioned, they are all very free-to-play friendly. We are still utilizing Legends as our leaders, but as for the subs, we are utilizing basically free-to-play. So against Xdrake, the 2 teams that I am using is basically this team here. Now, this team is it's exactly the same for both runs, but all you guys do is if you guys don't have Roger, you basically just replace Roger with Oden and bring a friend Roger. If you don't have Oden, you replace Oden with Roger and bring a friend Roger. As long as you have both of them as your captains, you're hunky-dory for this fight. We've got the Kazuna free-to-play carrot. She's really good to remove defense up. We have Chopper here. He can remove damage reduction. We have Orochi. Orochi removes the paralysis on the final stage. The support of Rare Recruit Kid will give us a little bit of a color affinity buff. This kid has been out since like the very beginning of the game, so I'm assuming most people have this unit. But if you do, make sure to max out his support because he's very, very good. Finally, we have Colosseum Law. Colosseum Law can remove attack down, special bind, and give us an attack buff to our Cerebrals and Slashes, which this whole team is. We are using the Liberal Hind too for some extra damage, and this team, with the super typing of Oden, managed to just have enough damage to take out the final stage against Xdrake. Moving on to the Bonekichi arena now, we are utilizing double Kaido with full free-to-play subs, full free-to-play supports. Now, I didn't actually have this Shiki on my team when I did the run, so he's not essential for the double Kaido team, but we will talk about something in a second. This is the team that I used to take down Bonekichi. We have double Kaido as our leader for the just triggering the Thunder Booger, which works really, really well. We've got Ores to remove defensive effects. With the super typing of Kaido, we can remove defensive effects. Bullet's great because he gives us color affinity. With Bonafista, we can rotate block orbs, which is really, really handy. We have Moria to remove sound effects, paralysis, and attack down. And then finally, we have the Sea Monster, because the Sea Monster can give us an orb boost on stage 4 and carry it into stage 5, as we can't use an orb boost on the final stage. As for the second team, for Bonekichi, it basically looks exactly the same. All I did was still bring a friend Kaido, but actually replace Kaido with Sugar. Sugar's really, really good because she can get around the 3 tap debuff. And if you are utilizing this team, you do need to make sure that you have the support of Shiki on one of your driven units, but you can actually replace this Sea Monster with another orb booster. In the run, I think I actually mentioned if you can try and find a driven unit that is an orb booster, you guys will actually probably find it a little bit better, as you can't actually get the carryover of the Sea Monster on this particular team. So replacing him with someone like the free-to-play Bellamy should work really, really well. Or you could even use something like the Rumble Blackbeard. That's another option for you guys. Rumble Blackbeard can set defense to 0 as well. That might be a little bit of a better option for you guys. But that's enough about the teams. Let's hop into the runs. So the first clip of the video, we are taking on Xdrake. We are utilizing Roger and Oden as our captains. You can easily flip them around if you are missing Roger or Oden. But as for the rest of the team, bar Rare Recruit Kid, we are using free-to-play options for supports and subs. With that said, let's dive. So on stage 3, we come up against Basil Hawkins. Now, Basil Hawkins is a dex unit, and he rolls all of our orbs into either unfavorable or TND. And because we are using Oden as our captain, if we get any TND orbs, it actually works in our favor, as they actually become 1-0 orbs. Now, if you're a spoon like myself and you weren't really paying attention when you're doing this, and you missed a whole bunch of perfects as you're about to see here, then don't stress, because this team can still take out Hawkins on the second turn. If you don't take out Hawkins on the first turn, he's going to do the exact same thing as turn 1, roll your orbs into unfavorable or TND, and then he puts up a Dex Orb barrier. But on this particular team, Carrot and Oden both have Barrier Pen. They are both strength units. So as long as you get like a 1-0 orb on one of them, you're pretty much hunky-dory. And as you can see, we can easily take out Hawkins on that second turn, even with the barrier, thanks to Barrier Pen. So make sure that you have an Oden that has Barrier Pen, as well as maxing out that free-to-play Carrot. On to stage 4, we come up against Page 1. Now, Page 1's going to give us a full board of block orbs. He also has 4 turns of damage reduction and defense up. Now, this is where Oden actually works better as your captain, but it's not really essential, as you can actually get the chain buff from Carrot if your captain is a strength unit. But what we're going to do on this stage, we're going to use the super typing of Roger, the special of Oden, the special of Roger to carry over the orb buff, and then we're going to remove the defensive effects with both Chopper and Carrot. Make sure that you use Chopper after Roger though, Otherwise, you won't get the much higher attack boost. With the locked orbs from the super typing of Roger, with the Wano orbs, the attack boost, like, Xdrake literally just melts. He doesn't even stand a chance. Moving into the final stage, we do get the carryover of the orb boost thanks to Oden, boosting Free Spirit Slashes and red units orbs by 2.5. We still keep our Wano orbs. Roger's going to blow away all of those nasty sort of Haki effects, and then we actually get Despaired, Attack Down, Paralysis, and Special Blind. With Roger as our captain, we can actually remove the Despair. We do have the support of Rare Recruit Kid. I did include him here because, like, he's such an old Rare Recruit, most people actually have him, but I don't know if the extra damage is actually essential. It may or may not be. I think it probably is, as we just have enough to kill Xdrake on this stage. But with the Law special, the Orochi special, we can remove all the nasty defects, give ourselves an attack boost to our Cerebrals and our Slashes, and with the super typing of Oden as well, we can easily take out Xdrake. So let's move on to Bonekichi now. So the first team against Bonekichi is utilizing double Kaido, as well as a bunch of free-to-play units and free-to-play subs. So this is the team, these are the supports. Let's dive in. Alright, so on stage 3, we come up against Nami and Shinobi. They're going to turn into a random color, and unlucky for us, we actually got the Dex variation. But they do have end of turn damage, which is around 10k, which means Kaido just starts popping off those Thunder Bugas, and we can do a lot of damage to Nami and Shinobu. Basically just single tap and take them out easy peasy. Then we can move on to stage 4. Against stage 4, we come up against Orobi. Now, Orobi becomes a little bit of a tricky situation for most teams. She gives us that 3 tap debuff, which makes Sugar so damn good. She also does about 10k damage, as well as giving us a full board of negative orbs. She gives us 3 turns of paralysis, as well as 3 turns of attack down. But because she does 10k damage, Kaido and his Thunderbug is just going to go absolutely off here. Do a whole bunch of damage, around about 4 million, which just makes taking Robin down a lot easier. We can also get the double damage debuff, which helps out quite a bit. We can remove sound effects, paralysis, and attack down with the Moria special. And then we can actually get a orb boost utilizing the Sea Monster. Utilizing the Sea Monster works really, really well, because as long as we hit 3 perfects, we can actually get the carrier of the orb buff. I'm going to finish it off with the Kaido special, just to give us a little bit of extra damage. That way we can take out Robin on the first turn. If we don't take out Robin, she's going to start blowing away units, which is really, really annoying. Make sure you hit your 3 perfects. That way you can carry over the orb boost into the final stage. On the final stage against Bonekichi, he's going to turn into a strength unit. He is also going to give us a full board of block orbs. He has 2 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of defense up, and 4 turns of defense up and 4 turns of threshold, and gives us 3 turns of chain coefficient reduction. So with the bullet special, we can get a nice chunky HP cut, get a color affinity boost, as well as rotate all of our orbs into matching, thanks to the support of Bonavista. Then we can actually use the Ores, Colosseum Ores special, to remove the threshold and the defense up. And then with one of the super typings of Kaido, we can remove the damage reduction. We can finish it off with a Kaido special to give us a full board of orbs, as well as the double damage. And then we can use the other Kaido super typing literally just for a free 4 million damage, or roughly 4 million. And with that, we can just hit our perfects, take out Brook, easy peasy. You guys can actually utilize the support of Shiki as well on one of your driven characters. That way you can actually get a little bit of an attack buff on this stage as well. Once Brook dies, he does have a res mechanic. He does around 10,000 damage. And because he does 10,000 damage, Kaido's Thunder Booger is going to go absolutely bonkers here and just one-shot Brook. He also gives us hunger, so without that Kaido, we might be in for a bad time. But let's move on to the next team. So moving on to the final team of the video now. For those of you who didn't summon for Kaido, the exact same team actually works with Sugar. We do have a little bit of a change of support though. We do have Shiki on our Moria for the attack buff. And if you want to, you can actually replace the Sea Monster with another Orb Booster. And with that said, let's dive in. So on stage 3, we come up against Nami and Shinobu. Nami and Shinobu are going to turn into a random color, and lucky for us, once again, we actually got the Dex variation. Because Nami and Shinobu do about 10,000 damage when you enter this room, Kaido will actually just pop his special off, which helps significantly. Getting the full board of orbs, as well as the double damage for free, it does so much for this particular team, and makes this particular stage against Nami Shinobu so easy. That way we can just take them out with normal attacks, and move on to the next stage against Orobi. Now against Orobi, this is where things normally are pretty tricky for most teams, but if you use Sugar, you're basically in for a good time. She gives you 3 turns of paralysis, 3 turns of remove sound effects, and 3 turns of attack down. We can remove basically all of that by utilizing the Moria special, and because we enter this room with a HP cut or 10,000 damage, Kaido is actually going to give the double debuff, give us a full board of orbs, and then we can actually use the Sea Monster to get an orb buff. As mentioned in the beginning, you actually don't need the Sea Monster. I realized that once you use the Sugar special on this turn and turn the Sea Monster and Moria into bears, you can't actually hit 3 perfects because Sugar doesn't count as a perfect. She counts as a hobby. So therefore, you physically cannot hit the 3 perfects. So as long as you just bring an orb booster on this stage, you should be fine. And then that way, you can replace the Sea Monster with another driven unit. I can't really think of one. Maybe Bellamy off the top of my head. He might be driven. On the final stage against Bonekichi, you can't use an orb boost. He has 3 turns of chain coefficient reduction, 2 turns of damage reduction, 4 turns of threshold, and 4 turns of defense up. We have the Shiki support on this team. You can use the Shiki support on that Kaido team as well to get an attack boost. We are using Bonavista and Bullet once again for a color affinity and a full border orbs. We can use Ores to remove the threshold and the defense up. Then we can utilize the super typing of Kaido to remove the damage reduction as well. We can finish it off with the Kaido special just for some free damage, and the super typing of Sugar to give us a 2.25 orb boost to the characters that are 40 cost or below, which on this particular team is everyone besides Kaido and the Bullet. So make sure you start your attack pattern with Bullet and then hit with Kaido, then hit with Ores, and then hit with Sugar to let the bears do the rest of the damage. And with that, we have enough damage to take out Brook. But then Brook revives. When Brook revives, he does about 10,000 damage. He binds our slots for 1 turn and gives us 2 turns of hunger. If you're running Kaido though, as long as you remove those defensive effects, you're going to get the Thunder Booger automatically activating, and you can just easily take out Brook without even having to do a thing. So there you guys go. There were my free-to-play friendly teams against the 2 new arenas, Xdrake and Bonekichi. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me. And if you are new to my channel and you're enjoying the OPTC content, both Japan and global, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights!